We're talking about actual kids with close-ups in their... What the f... Hey, hot girl, what's up? So I just came across something that was really disturbing, disgusting. I really don't have words for it. And I think the entire message that was supposed to be put out there has gotten completely misconstrued. And now we have a actual film on Netflix that is promoting. It makes me disgusted. It makes me sick. I think more people need to be talking about this topic. And with that, let's get into this video. I already know this is going to be a very controversial topic. A lot of people have very strong opinions about this film. I don't know. I'm trying so hard not to say the word. Everyone has strong opinions of this film, as they should. And I have the right to say my 2 cents, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Cutie starts off with this 11-year-old girl named Amy. Amy lives in a very conservative religious household with her parents and her siblings. Very low income looking area. She lives in a strict household where she has to abide by the rules or there will be consequences. And a lot of us can resonate with that. I know me personally, I lived in a very strict household, and if I did not follow suit, especially with my mom, right, heavy religious background, there was hell to pay. So I completely understand the dynamics of a strict household to the best degree that I can. You know, every household is different. So Amy grew up in this very conservative, strict household, and it is portrayed in the film that she's feeling very kind of distraught, very stuck. She's, you know, always looking around, looking at other people. How are they maneuvering? How are they doing things? I think she had kind of an identity crisis. And I think a lot of us have that feeling as children, preteens going into teenagers, right? We don't know what we want to do. We're observing everything. You're trying your best to form your personality. You want to please your parents, but at the same time, you want to please yourself. She seemed like this kid that was really stuck in that paradox of, I want to be happy, but what's making me happy makes my family unhappy. Kind of a give or take situation, and it usually never has a good ending. And boy, was I right. So Amy comes across this group of girls dancing, and they're not dressed traditionally like her. You know, they're wearing very, I hate to use the word with kids, but I mean, they're wearing very revealing outfits. You know, they're dancing in a certain way that she was not used to, and she approaches them. They basically abruptly inform her that they're the cuties and this is their game. So immediately, as a child coming from a traditional background, kid that has to be modest all the time, you know, speak when spoken to, and then you see these girls that are literally the polar opposite of what you've been experiencing and you've been yearning for a way out. You see them and you think, oh wow, is this going to be a potential avenue to find something that works for me? Because again, she was so unhappy with the traditional ways that she was living. It kind of makes sense why she was so stuck, because that dance group completely rebels against everything that she was taught, and she was already leaning away from what she was taught. So her being attracted to it, that makes all the sense in the world. Now let's actually talk about the dance group. So this is a small group of 11 to 12-year-olds doing all different types of choreography. And when I say all different types, I don't mean like, oh, you know, when I was in dance school, like, you know, jazz, hip hop, tap. I'm not really talking about those variations. I'm talking about specific movements in choreography. I mean the most mature, amorous and dance moves I've ever seen children do. Girl, when I was in dance, we stuck to a little bit of shaking, girl, maybe a little pop here or there, but it was nothing. We moved with the purpose of having fun. Seeing this, they moved with the purpose of portraying arousal, in my opinion, and that's, to me, is vile. Especially having young girls in that manner and then televise it. I mean, we're talking legs open during the dance moves, on purpose, hands all over their area, on top of each other, and overall giving a portrayal of... These are kids. These are kids, dude. These are children selling you on the screen. And it was so weird to see, because in this one particular clip, you have these girls dancing and you have a whole crowd of adults in the background, like cheering them on, and some people are booing. It's just this entire cluster F of I don't know who's more wrong. I don't know if it's the director's more wrong for filming this. I don't know if it's the parents of the girls. I don't know if it's the adults that agreed to sit there and cheer these girls on. I don't know who is more wrong. The premise of the girls on screen, the way that they were, was basically to make you feel uncomfortable. According to the directors, the premise was to make you feel uncomfortable, to make you realize that this is not okay. They really thought they were fighting against the subjugation of young girls being overly sexualized by putting young girls in positions on camera. Now, I don't understand that at all. It did make me incredibly uncomfortable, so they can check that one off because that definitely was my plight. However, this is not how you combat the disgusting expectations that our youth has to think that they have to grow up quickly. This is not how you do it. You don't show little girls on camera literally just fulfilling every dream, okay? You don't show that and then think you're doing something. What you showed is literally validating, whether you knew it or not, validating exactly what you were fighting against. I understand you can't control the world and you can't control that there are disgusting people out there and people have the right to do what they want. But I would say that more with women, right? A child still needs to grow up and be a child, okay? We're not talking about women and then men being like, oh no, don't do that. We're talking about actual kids with close-ups in their area while they're dancing on film, on Netflix, for literally anybody with any background to log into and to see. That is a problem. That is a finite issue. That's disgusting. And where the are the parents? You always hear people say, where are the parents? Where are the parents? Who signed off and said that it was okay to have their little girl on camera, thinking that that was going to make a difference, talking about of children? No, we don't need to see that to know that it's wrong. For example, human trafficking is at an all-time high, made billions of dollars last year, which specializes with young girls. Made billions of dollars last year, okay? There's a whole business behind the of women and children. And I don't need to see a video of a trafficked child or a trafficked woman to know that human is wrong, right? I don't need to see a video of a little girl getting down, acting in ways that she would not normally act. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that to have an opinion. I don't need to see that. I'm very well aware. And it's interesting because I always thought when you push boundaries and you make people uncomfortable, change is gonna happen. And maybe inadvertently with this film, because they did make, I would hope, all of us uncomfortable, maybe that's what they wanted, right? Start a conversation. Well, they got it. Because I'm here to say that this is absolutely disgusting. And everybody dropped the ball with this film. The parents of the girls that signed off to let them do this, the directors and the people in that audience that were actually clapping and letting these girls do it. I know they were actors, but still, I wouldn't have signed on for that either. I'm all for protecting our young girls. And in order to do that, we have to actually have their best interests at heart. And them showing close-ups of their on camera, it's not going to get us there. This movie is so incredibly sick, in my opinion. I understand the message behind it, but it was completely misconstrued with the lewd acts that they made these little girls do, okay? A choreographer had to teach them those moves. Parents had to sign off to let them be in this film. Directors had to zoom in on their parts. Adults failed these children, and the entire message of protecting kids is completely obliterated.
Adults failed these children.
When our job is to make sure that they're secure and that they're safe. And nothing in this film, to me, shows any validity in keeping kids safe, in keeping young girls safe. I'm disgusted. I don't know why Netflix would ever think that this was a good idea. You know, to me, they're usually a commendable company, but I don't know what this is. I understand that everyone has a voice and, you know, all that's going on in the world deserves a platform, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, and this was not it at all. As far as cancel Netflix and that whole thing, what are your guys' opinions on that? Are you canceling your Netflix subscription? Are you just choosing not to watch it? Did you watch the film and you have different thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you watched the film and you enjoyed what you saw and you liked watching the girls dance like that, be sure to leave your information down below so I can forward you straight to the FBI. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.